Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my coronavirus series, where this week you're going to be coming to work with me because I'm working at a coronavirus test center, and I'm going to be showing you what we're doing to the members of public and to the members of staff, how we're testing them to see whether they actually have coronavirus or whether they've got immunity to coronavirus. And then later on in the video I'll be explaining the test in a bit more detail, so come to work with me. So at the coronavirus test center, it was a porter cabin which was separate from the rest of the hospital. There was a the front office, where we were making calls to all the staff in order to book their appointment, and we had to ask them certain questions like had they had coronavirus symptoms at the moment, because if they did then they couldn't come in. Okay, so do you have any COVID symptoms at the moment? Have you been swabbed before? Okay, what's your postcode? Alright then, so if you come and please bring your staff ID. If they were taking part in any trials, if they were taking part in any other COVID related trials and they couldn't have the antibody test. And we had to get all of their personal information, including their postcode, because that will be more information for how this coronavirus is spreading, where the immunity may or may not be. And we had literally thousands of staff to get through just at our hospital. So we were making hundreds of calls every day. We were taking hundreds of people's blood every day. So it was 6 people per 15 minutes. And I also had to get my blood taken because I'm a staff member as well. And I'll insert a clip. And if you're squeamish, look away. If not, then, And there was times where I was in the office doing the calls, and there were times when I was in the other part taking bloods from the staff members. I haven't taken bloods in over a year, but I still got the knack, still went straight into it. So I think taking blood is like riding a bike. You never forget how to do it. And this was for the antibody test. Now, an antibody is a product that is found in our blood that is made by our immune system in response to a foreign object, such as a bacteria or a virus. So you need to wait a little bit for your immune system to be able to kick in and create these antibodies. So that is typically 7 to 10 days after the onset of symptoms. Now, in the front of the porter cabin outside, you see the massive white tent, and this was where cars were pulling in and people were walking through as well. And this is the coronavirus test, like a drive-through and a walk-through to get your coronavirus test. Now, this is different to the antibody. The antibody test is for if you've ever had corona before. This test is to see if you have coronavirus at the moment. And who we were giving these tests to were people who were about to have their surgery within the next 3 days. But, they can't come for surgery if they've got corona. So it was kind of like a safety precaution. So their car would pull up, and then one of the nurses would get into PPE and then take their swab. And this swab is the one that you've probably seen before, where they swab to the back of the nose and they swab to the back of the throat. It's pretty uncomfortable, but it has to be done. So it's sometimes called an antigen test. It's not an antigen. An antigen is a part of a virus. It's on the outside membrane of the virus. But this is testing for the presence of nucleic acid. Nucleic acid is just part of the DNA of a virus or a bacteria. So that is what it is detecting. And now for the Q&A section, where I read the science so you don't have to. And this took a lot of reading. I was trying to read papers, trying to read websites so I could give you up-to-date information. And I'm also going to tell you the results of my antibody test. So for the first question, is the swab test for current infection and blood test for previous? Yes, it is. Where can I get it done? Is it free? So if you go on the NHS website, it says that if you have corona symptoms, then you can book for a coronavirus test, the swab test. And this has to be done within the first 5 days of your symptoms. It's not very useful after the 6th day. There are also some home test kits that you can also do, and you have to make sure you read the terms and conditions so that you do it properly, and you can order that via the NHS website as well. It's free and available to all the public, but priority is being given to healthcare workers, people who live or work in care homes and people who have a verification code from their employer. So maybe you might want to ask your employer whether you do have that or not. In terms of the antibody test, that is not available to the public at the moment. Currently, if you're a member of the public and want an antibody test, you have to pay £150 to get it. That's what I was seeing on Google. You have to go to a private clinic and get it. I don't actually really know what does the antibody test mean, what do the results mean. So we need to do it in a population where coronavirus is likely so that we can get the most useful data. So now, the question on everybody's lips, I got this question again and again and again. Is it reliable? Is it accurate? Is it effective? So in order to answer this question, I'm just going to explain to you how we decide whether tests are accurate. And we do that through two things, sensitivity and specificity. Now, sensitivity is if a person truly has coronavirus, will this test tell you that they do? When a test is sensitive, it won't give you false negatives, i.e. I do truly have corona, but then the test told me that I don't. That would mean it's not sensitive. And specificity is when I don't have corona, how well is this test able to confidently say, no, this person doesn't have corona? There are no false positives when it is specific. Okay, now with the coronavirus swab test, it is, if you get a positive result, you can be very sure that you've got it. So it's pretty specific. But then it's not that sensitive, so sometimes you can have it, but it will tell you that you don't have it, so there are some false negatives. With the antibody test, there are two types of antibodies that it can pick up, IgG or IgM. And it seems that the IgG test is a little bit more accurate. The two companies that Public Health England have said that we can trust their tests is Abbott and Roche. Okay, and these are reported as around 98% accurate. But we have to see that the WHO have actually got a statement on their website, and they're not endorsing either of these tests to guide patient care. They're saying that it should only be used for research and epidemiological purposes, but obviously it is being used for research care. So I think the WHO is just trying to be safe / sit on the fence. Okay, and now for the last question, how long do the antibodies last? I searched for this answer, and I saw that on the FDA it says that it is unknown how long these antibodies last. What we are trying to do at the moment is just look at data of other strains of coronavirus, because this is COVID-19, but there is other coronaviruses that have been present for years, and they usually just cause the common cold. And so people who have antibodies, one study showed that people who have antibodies to that coronavirus that just causes a common cold were able to be reinfected a year after, but they just never produced the symptoms. And that is why even if your antibody test comes back positive, you still need to follow the isolation, you still need to follow the social distancing and hygiene measures. I had no antibodies were detected in my blood, so it seems like I've not had corona. So yeah, there's the results. Okay, and that is the end of the episode. I hope you learned something new. I hope if you had any worries or questions that I've answered them, and if not, then just rewatch the parts that you don't understand, or just comment down below and I will answer your questions. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and share this with your friends. If you know that they're worried about the tests or worrying how effective is this, how reliable are these tests, then just share this information, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye.